Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue and I'm from OML Embroidery, and this is a bonus video to go along with our Block of the Month 3 video that I did live. This isn't live, but I wanted to show you guys the different ways that you can do the half hexagons in here. Now for this one, I did one piece and it looks great. For this one, I did half and half and it looks great. It looks great. So for the one I'm working on, we're going to do piece by piece, and then we're going to leave one so the background shows through, and then we're going to do piece by piece. And on this side, we're going to do one half. So it should look pretty cool, but I want to show you the technique for each part. So let's go to the machine and get this done. All right, I'm at the machine now, and I've done all the quilting parts. We're just going to do the applique on this video. If you need to know how to get this far, then check out the video that I just did. So the first thing we're going to do, no matter what, is we're going to do our placement lines for the applique. So on this side, we're going to do it one-on-one and skip one. So these are all the different techniques. It is the exact same design that I stitched out in the live. It's just that we're going to do it a little differently. So there's a lot of options when doing these designs, a lot of different ways to do them, and they all look great. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understood how we're doing this. Now I'm just using white thread. It's a little different from the orange that I used. It's still going to look good. I just wanted to make sure that it stood out and you guys could see it really well. So that's all my placement lines. So I've got this little scrap of fabric, and we're going to start at the top here. So I'm just going to place my fabric down and we're going to stitch it. So this is our tack down stitch because we have all of our placement stitches down. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the desk in just a sec, and we're going to trim that out. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the lines properly. So I'm going to trim out at the lines just as carefully as possible, but you don't have to worry about it too much. I was actually a little bit close on my applique fabric, so I'll have to watch that. Some days I'm good at appliques, some days I'm just not. So I'm not going to worry too much about here because that's outside my seam allowance. Now this is a little deceiving. It looks right here that I'm way off, but there's black. There's black writing. It's thrown me off more than once. I could have done this a bit closer, but there we go. So always take your time. Now let's go back to the machine and keep stitching. Okay, so for the next one, we can either leave it so the black shows through, or we can stitch fabric on it. So I'm going to try leaving this one. So all I'm going to do, you can skip the tack down or you can stitch it, whichever one that you want. I'm going to skip it. And of course, then I get to skip the trimming too, because yay. So now we're moving on to our next one. So we are going to place our fabric down. It's number 3 that we're doing. So I'm going to place my fabric down, and I turned it so the writing goes a little bit better. I don't think we'll be able to read any of it, but that's okay. So there we go. Perfect. Perfect. So let's go back to the desk and we can trim that one out. So here we go. A little bit of trimming. Maybe I'll be a little more careful and get as close as I can to the line. It's all going to come together when we put those beautiful finishing stitches on it. But see, it looks like we cut out the black where we didn't. Perfect. All right, let's go back to the machine and keep it going. So for this one, I want it to be black. So I'm gonna actually skip it. So I'm just gonna go to the next color on my luminaire, and there we go. So what I should have done is put the fabric down. So now we're doing this one. So let's put the fabric down, and we're gonna do our cover stitches, or sorry, our tack down stitches. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Back to the desk for some trimming, of course. Yep, here we are, trimming some more. So you can use scraps, you can use one piece, like extra piece, like I am, it's fine. Anything goes. You could issue, I said this in the live video, you could give yourself a challenge and just use random scraps. I think it would look awesome if you did it that way. So very nice, very nice. I like, but see the look you get, it's all opposites. So now we're going to skip the next one, and then we've just got this little one in the corner, so kind of like a quarter hexagon. I don't know if that exists, but it's a little hexagon piece, and this is where we could use, you know, even this little piece. If you could fussy cut, that would be awesome too. I'm not going to for this one, but you could. And I'm going to place it on, and we're going to go, you know, back to the machine. There we are. So I'm going to skip this one again because I do have my fabric down, so I'm just going to fast forward one whole color, and there we go. Now we're ready to stitch this one down. See how easy it is? Now when you're going back up on the other side, you could do it opposite. So this one would be black, this one would be orange, and it would look great. All right, I'm just gonna trim this little one in place because it's just a little one, and we're gonna start on the other side, and the other side we're gonna do it half. So we're gonna do like the pink and purple bright one, we're gonna do half, the whole half, that doesn't make any sense. This whole part is gonna be half of the design, and we're going to do it in one fabric. So our first thing, of course, is our placement lines. So let's get those stitched out in our beautiful fabric. Thank you, Judy Quilt. I know I said that a whole bunch of times. So this is what we're doing on this one, half and half, which I think will look great. Beautiful, beautiful. So it's easy to see where they go, and it's nice to have the extra lines, because when I do my cover stitches, this white will kind of make it look a bit brighter. And it's perfect. Okay, so I have my piece of fabric for this side, and I'm just placing one piece of fabric down. Now we could have put it down for the tacking stitches and it would be done, we'd just have to trim, but I'm gonna go through it all with you. So we're not going to do any trimming until the very end. So it's super easy. Still same colors, still same design. It's just going to go through all the motions like this. And we're just going to keep pressing go, and then we'll make a trim, and then we'll finish it. It's that easy. So there we go. So two different ways. I really like how this one looks. The black and orange like that. I think that's really neat. As long as your fabric fits where the placement lines tell you it'll fit, it'll work out. So next, You don't have to count or do anything. It's just until you get to the next step, which is the covering stitches. So you can't really skip these because we need the fabric down and we need cutting lines. So you kind of have to do them. But half a braid. I really like how the pink and green one showed up. I really like how this one looks. And what I did for the quilting stitches, I did them in opposite colors. It stops for a thread change if you need it, and I think it looks great like that. I can only imagine with different batiks, and you know, you could do sun and dark, different things like that, sunflowers and different kinds of flowers, and make like a garden. There's lots you can do. The possibilities are endless. And what's really nice is these pieces are not big. So if you have a scrap bin full of your favorite fabrics that you just can't get rid of because you love them so much, ask me how I know that one, then you're going to love this pattern because you can use them all up. They're decent sizes. I love this fabric too. The fabric that I'm using is from Missouri Star, courtesy of Judy Whitaker. So thank you, Judy. It was a huge hit on the live. Everyone thinks it's gorgeous, so thank you so much. I've been dying to use it, so there we go. Now the next step is the quilting stitches, but I want to give this a trim out first so we know how it's gonna look. So let's go back to the desk and give it a little trim. So if you're doing half and half on each side, you just repeat exactly what I'm doing but on the other side. So now we have to trim it out. So it's really easy to do the trim. Now always take your time when you're trimming. Trimming is what makes your applique. However, there's a little bit of give on this one. We don't have our gorgeous satin stitches to cover up any mistakes we may or may not have made in our trimming. But if you're off a little bit, don't worry about it because it gives it more of a hand finished look, which is adorable on this. It's just beautiful. So I did the outside, and now I'm going to come back in and do the zigzag parts, which may be a little bit difficult with my scissors. So I'm going to go on one side where it's easy, so I'm not throwing my hoop ball around, because I want to get right into that corner as much as I can. You don't want to cut the stitches though, so you do have to be a little bit careful. So this way, whatever's easiest for you. If you don't have duckbill scissors, then any old scissors will do. So I'm switching it around just because I find this easier. I doubt that it is, but you know, what are you gonna do? And see how neat that looks with the one that's left out? Oh, I love it. So with the black showing through, I love it. All right, let's go back to the machine and do our quilting stitches. I'm just looking, and I think opposites would really add to it. So quilting stitches, I like them. I think they look great. I think if you did even an orange for this side, I think that would look great. I don't expect that they're going to show up really, really well on the half side, but they kind of do. I kind of like it. And you can change colors. So if you did this whole side black, then you can do it opposite. So orange on this side, black on this side. It would look great. Even if you have busy fabric, I don't know if it gets much busier than mine. It can get louder. They're still going to show up. They're still going to give you the texture. After all, that's the point of quilting stitches, is to have texture and make it look good. So I love this one. This is a traditional half hexagon kind of old-timey pattern, and I really love how it looks, and I can picture a whole blanket out of these with the braids running up and down. I think it would look awesome. So we've just got a little more quilting stitches to go. Back up to the top, change, oh, look at that. Change the color if you need to, but I'm leaving mine the same just because I like how it looks. I just used the colors in the fabrics. By the way, this is Block of the Month 3, and if you want to start doing the Block of the Month with us, that's on omlembroidery.com. And this one is a version 2. There is a version 1, which is even more traditional, meaning that the quilting is a little more traditional. Instead of this design on the sides, it's quilting feathers. So if you like the quilting feathers, that's the one for you. If you like this more of a manly kind of a design, then version 2 will be for you. Each design set, so the original and the version 2, comes with 3 sizes of blocks and 2 different blocks. So for example, for this one, we're going to do the finishing stitches. I'm going to interrupt myself. And I'm going to keep the white because I want it to stand out. I could use black too. So these are the 2 blocks that come with this pattern. So this block is available in 8x8, 6x6, and 5x5. And this one is available in the same sizes. So you get a lot of files in your download. There's a lot. I sometimes get mixed up when I'm setting them up, but there's a lot of files that you get. So 2 different quilt blocks in 3 different sizes. I don't know how many versions we do, like, for different sewing machines, but this one's a PES because I am using a Brother Luminaire 2, which is perfect, by the way. So I like these cover stitches instead of satin stitches. I think it gives the whole MEP design a really good look. I love using them. I think it's wonderful. So, by the way, MEEP, M-E-E-P-P, is short for Machine Embroidered English Paper Piecing. And that's kind of what we're doing. English paper piecing is beautiful, but it's meant to be hand sewn, and it's quite a bit of work and takes a long time to do. And this looks almost exactly the same, but we're doing it all complete on our embroidery machine. So machine embroidery, which is what I do. I do the English paper piecing the traditional way, hand sewing. I do that at night just so I can relax, and I love it. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, and we're going to watch it stitch out and final, and then we'll go back to the desk. Alright, we heard the happy music, and now we are done. So let's have a look at this. This is the exact same pattern, just put together. The applique is done in different ways. So this is the single ones. This is skipping one. I think that looks fantastic. Singles, and this one we did one piece for the half. So one design done in many different ways. There's lots of options when you're doing these designs, and I hope that helps everyone out to let you know the different ways of doing it. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys like this bonus video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!